Alrighty. Well, hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Monterey Bay Aquarium here live all across the internet for hashtag Giving Tuesday. Thank you so much for being there, everybody. We should be live now over on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch, on Periscope, and Twitter as well. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being there. You've probably figured it out by now. I'm the one talking over here. My name's Pat. I work on the Aquarium's social media team, and if anything breaks during this broadcast, that'll be my fault over here. Joining from her house a few miles away across the bay, we've got the better half of the social media team over here. We've got Emily. Emily's going to be the one monitoring a lot of your questions here. How you doing today, Emily?
Doing pretty well. Thanks, Patrick.
Awesome.
Pretty excited to be here with the two of you.
Oh, yeah. And we should mention we have a very, very special guest currently below us here on the screen, live from the Monterey Bay Aquarium right now, behind the scenes of our Jellies exhibit. We have amazing aquarist MacKenzie currently over at the Aquarium. MacKenzie, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm very well. Excited to be here with you guys. Excited to show off what we've been doing to everyone.
All right. Let me see if I can. Oh, there you go. Oh, now it's just the two of you. Oh, goodness.
Ooh,
all right. I've got to remove the pen. There you go. Hey, there's MacKenzie over there.
Hey,
so
everybody.
Pardon the production. So you're currently at the aquarium for this very special live stream that we're doing here for Giving Tuesday. For those of you that are watching live right now over on Facebook, excuse me, there is a donate button there on this stream. You'll be able to donate directly to the aquarium through that donate button. If you're watching over on Periscope and on Twitter, there's a link to donate to the aquarium there as well. And on Twitch, check the chat. Emily is over there with Tiltify fundraiser over there as well. And it is Giving Tuesday. Y'all can do your own fundraisers for the aquarium if you wanted to on your Instagram story, on your Facebook as well. And so we are doing this special broadcast not only to raise funds for the aquarium, but also to show you a little bit about the amazing work happening all the time at the aquarium, especially with the work that MacKenzie and co are doing in the Jelly Lab. So with that, just very quickly, MacKenzie, while folks are getting their donate fingers ready or anything, let's give them just a quick little tidbit there. Can you tell us a little bit about your job at the aquarium and where you are currently at the aquarium? What are you up to most days?
Hey, yeah, no problem. So we are in the Jelly Lab. Welcome to the Jelly Lab, everyone.
Woo!
My name, woohoo! Yeah, it's a fun place, kind of half mad science, half jelly farm. Yeah, so my job at the aquarium, I'm an aquarist, and not only am I part of this wonderful jelly team, I also do a lot of other field collections, and I take care of intertidal animals too. So as an aquarist, you wear many hats, and it's extremely fun, passion-driven job, and everyone here is just thrilled, you know, basically to be doing what we're doing. Yeah, so I'm using a selfie stick. Apologize if it's a bit shaky. I'm a bit of a noob, but yeah,
It's all good.
we're right. Yeah, cool. Yeah, we're basically in the very bottom of the food chain here that we grow in the Jelly Lab, because to grow all the jellies you see on exhibit, we have to grow their food. In case you were wondering what's behind me, all these crazy bubbling tubes.
Yeah, and that's actually one of my favorite parts here of the lab. So there behind you, that's definitely some mad scientist looking stuff over there, because there's those tubes there that are always boiling and bubbling, and they're kind of, you know, goes from red and green and orange and stuff over there. So tell us a little bit about that brew that you have over there to help out the jellies.
Yeah, it certainly is a brew. We have brown brew right now. It's single-celled algae cultures that basically, yeah, so phytoplankton, little tiny baby plants of the sea, we grow in these tubes. This one is, yeah, she's about ready. She's brewed up to be served. Yeah, and you know, growing things, jellies, if you can give them the healthiest, most delicious food, they, you know, they're healthier in turn. So we choose to grow live algae. It's a, you know, it's a big effort, and it requires absolutely clean water, beautiful cultures, starts, and sunlight too. So yeah, that's why we've got them kind of in this bright window, and they've got fluorescent light bulbs behind them. But yeah, basically, if we just rotate around the room like so,
Nice.
These are the zooplankton cultures. So the animals, the teeny tiny animals that eat the teeny tiny plants, if we will. So yeah, we've got these are two copepod cultures, two different species. Copepod is one of the most abundant zooplanktons in the world's oceans. So they're a wonderful food item for various jellies we grow. We feed those. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, for the folks out there who might be wondering, copepods, if you're familiar with SpongeBob SquarePants, Plankton in SpongeBob is a copepod, and you know it from the one solitary red eye there in the middle. So copepods also just have that one red eye spot there. So in case if you were wondering if you were familiar with copepod, Plankton from SpongeBob over there. So behind you, MacKenzie, billions of plankton there next to you, right? Nice.
Yeah, that's such a great visual. I didn't even realize. It's been a while since me and SpongeBob had any time together. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
These are kind of recent-ish additions because, it takes a lot of effort and resources, but we found it really has paid off on a lot of our more delicate species of jellies that we've recently been able to culture because we have these awesome copepod tubes. And, they're all very tiny, but one is a lot tinier than the other. So it's helpful in different life stages for different jellies.
That's excellent. And before we move on to questions, I know Emily has already found a few folks chomping at the bit there for more jelly information, but there also behind the scenes are Rotifers a lot of the time, right? To feed to the jellies, or am I mistaken? Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, I jumped the gun. Tell us about those.
No, you're good. It's perfect. Yeah. So Rotifers, I would say that they have been around longer in aquaria, especially culturing or growing jellyfish and other small animals like seahorses, baby fish. They're a lot smaller than some other food items that are really abundant. But yeah, we've had our two rotifer cultures here for a while, and they don't even require as delicate of the fresh algae. We can give them some paste, and they're a little more hardy, I guess maybe you could say. But yeah, it's great to have all this variety. They move around differently in the water column too, so it's helpful, for different jellies. But then we have like the workhorse. These are Artemia nauplii, which is for all of you that grew up in the decade I did, sea monkey farms. I don't know if you ever grew. Did you ever grow sea monkeys?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we do that in mass scale, like 55 gallons a day here get fed out. But yeah, they're a little bit bigger than rotifers, and they're easier to grow for sure. So it's nice to have variety around the lab,
That's awesome. Yeah, so we're starting off here on this behind the scenes of the jellies, kind of with the jelly building blocks there of how you build up everything. So, you got the algae to feed to the copepod or to the rotifer, and then that goes to various stages of the jelly. And so you can already see how there's this nesting doll of animal and algae that you have to keep alive before you even get to the jellies that are on exhibit that we have behind me here. So thanks for that, Emily. I know that there's some questions out there for the folks. Yeah,
absolutely. First of all, shout out to folks who are watching from all across the world right now with us, Mac. We've got people tuning in from Florida, from Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, New York, Indiana, West Virginia. We got people tuning in from right here in California and in the UK, all over the place to check out our Jellies lab with us. We're going to kind of continue on this theme that we've been talking about, though, food for the jellies. We had a great question come in over on YouTube, curious about, well, just how often do we have to feed the jellies? Looks like we have a lot of food there. Are we feeding them really often, or what's the plan with their diet there?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say on average, kind of like our bigger adult jellies, the ones you'll see on exhibit, they're fed 2 to 3 times a day. So it's a lot. Beyond these Artemia nauplii, baby little sea monkeys I was talking about, a lot of our jellies get full-size krill right in the middle of the day as a hearty lunch time activity and foods. And but then, baby jellies, ones that, need a lot more food and have smaller stomachs, right? They'll sometimes be fed, 4 to 5 times a day with various types of foods. See if I have any examples around here.
I love
Going on a journey.
Yeah, I love this. Just going on a little exploration there behind the
Cruising
scenes.
around, yeah. So, okay. Let's see if we can see this. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna switch you around so I have a little bit more control. Oh yeah. Sorry, everybody. Okay, cool.
Nice.
So.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay, sorry.
There we go. We lost you there for a second.
MacKenzie, sorry to interrupt. Let's start over from the camera flip there. What were you saying before?
Oh, cool. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, so these are little baby moon jellies we're growing here. They're only a few weeks old. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a big old tank of them. Like all of these guys are all moon jellies. And they're getting 600 milliliters of baby sea monkeys twice a day. And they're getting 600 milliliters of rotifers once a day and 300 milliliters of copepods once a day. So a ton of food is going into these little guys, but it's doing them justice. They're growing and flowing. Things are going well in here.
That's awesome. So these are some of the moon jellies that that folks would probably be able to see in the exhibit hall, right? Some of the same moon jellies.
That's right. Yeah, these guys are just in the nursery currently. They haven't made it to the big time yet. But yeah, they're on their way, definitely. They're commonly displayed in our moon swarm tank, which, yeah, it's kind of at the tail end of our jellies gallery. But you can see kind of the density that sometimes can occur in nature. That's kind of, I guess, the impetus behind that exhibit.
Yeah, and there you go. We got you flipped back around there, MacKenzie. There, a question, and I think a lot of folks out there who maybe have gone diving recently here in the bay. You were talking about that concentration of jelly, so we're growing those there in those exhibits. But just to be punctual about the things that are happening out in the bay right now, there's a lot of jellies in the bay right now with sea nettles, right?
Yes, there are so many. They are dense. They have, it's almost problematic. There's so much. We're having a hard time filtering our own water into the building because they're doing so well. We call it a jelly smack, right? When everybody blooms all at once. So it's just the conditions are perfect for those guys right now and they're taking advantage. There's enough food. The water temperature is, cool enough for them. And yeah, they're thriving, huh?
Yeah,
They really are. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's just to your point about the densities there of those jellies that we're growing. Emily, more questions here for MacKenzie.
Yeah, well, we've mentioned a couple of different types of jellies. Mac, are all jellies painful to touch as a human? Oftentimes that's kind of the number one question that we get is, jelly stings, are all of them dangerous for me to touch? What do I do if I do get stung by a jelly? Do you want to bust some myths right now for us?
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. It was my number one concern when starting to work with jellies. I totally get it. I would say no, not all jellies will sting you. In fact, there's whole different family trees of jellies that don't even have what we call a nematocyst, which is what stings you. It's like a coiled up tiny harpoon that shoots out and gets you in your skin. Like for example, the jellies I'm most passionate about are called ctenophores or comb jellies, and they can't sting you. They're less aggressive with their feeding techniques, one could say. The jellies we are talking about, those brown sea nettles that are so abundant in the Monterey Bay right now, they'll get you for sure. For me, I know that, there's that myth of like ammonia, getting someone to like pee on you. That's not necessary. Just saying. It's like, I don't know where I learned that initially, but yeah, not 100% true.
Very important. Yeah. So for the folks out there watching, if you've heard about that particular home remedy, unless you have gallons of warm urine on hand, it's not really going to change a whole lot. It's the warmth of the water that can help relieve some of the pain, but you're not helping your friend out if you do that. Thanks for busting
just a doubly bad day, right?
Yeah.
You've been stung by a jelly and now either someone has had to pee on you or you've had to pee on yourself. No, thank you.
So no, it's
bad
not
joke.
It's not a thing, everybody. So, anyway.
Not a thing. Hot water, Patrick, you nailed it. That's why. any venomous animal we have here at the aquarium, there's very, very hot water within, pretty close proximity, so you can neutralize those toxins, and that you won't feel the pain for as long. So yeah, but yeah, we've had some pretty painful jellies around here. The flower hats were pretty intense back when we had the Jellies Experience Gallery. That required some steroids and a trip to the doctor for a few of us. But beyond that, most jellies are totally harmless. Especially, moon jellies, they have nematocysts. They're a cnidarian jellyfish, like many of what we grow here. But they can only sting, these very microscopic prey that I was showing you earlier, all the zooplankton. They will not harm most people's hands, especially because we have thick skin on our hands.
That's right. Yeah. So at this point, we should maybe mention, if you want to help donate to the hot water bucket fund for our Aquarists that might be getting stung by jellies. It happens, and especially divers going out in the bay to go fix our intake pipes when the jellies are around. That hot water bucket can be very useful, and you can help fill it up by donating right now. Again, if you are just joining us, we've got a very special Giving Tuesday live stream. We're behind the scenes of our Jelly Lab with Aquarist MacKenzie. I'm Pat on the social media team. This is Emily. Send us your questions so that we can answer them. But also, if you're currently tuning in on Facebook, that donate button is going to go directly to help the aquarium out. Giving Tuesday is a great time to donate to nonprofits and other institutions that are near and dear to you after all of the shopping that happens during the weekend. If you're done with your consumerism for a little bit, donate to the aquarium if you wanted to. So on Facebook, you got that button. Over on Instagram, we have an Instagram story with a donate there as well. On Twitter, you've got the link. On Twitch, you've got the Tiltify notification there for our fundraisers that are going on. So numerous different ways to donate to the aquarium right now. We certainly appreciate it and helps keep the mission going. All right, with that little ad break for Giving Tuesday, Emily, what else do the folks want to know out there?
We've had a lot of really great questions come in. One of them I want to get to right now because you are right next to some really, really special jellies, Mac. And we had a question come in asking, what are the biggest differences between deep sea jellyfish and shallow water jellies?
Ooh, such a thrilling topic for me, as we've been doing loads of research and development on deep sea jellyfish species that can thrive in aquarium environments. So, let me flip around. I'm so excited to show you guys.
Yes.
Yay, 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 yay. Okay, so we're on our approach here to my ultimate favorite jellyfish. Sorry, it's a bit loud over here because there's a lot of different life support that needs to happen, but this is the blooded belly comb jelly.
Yes.
It is, yeah. It is found deep in Monterey Bay. Its range, it's like roughly 400 meters, I think, to like 1,200. There's various color morphs, and some of them are deeper than others. And honestly, scientists are still working on if we're all the same species, if there's variants. But we've been lucky enough to, kind of make leaps and bounds with this species. It's a ctenophore, which is a comb jelly, and they don't sting each other if you're wondering, or even they kind of run into each other sometimes. Kind of hilarious. They free themselves. Yeah.
These two are currently investigating each other with those lobes there. Can you orient us a little bit? Which way is the butt end? Which way is the front end? In case folks haven't seen one of these before.
Right. Yeah. So this is a lowbait ctenophore. If we're looking at this little guy in the back, his mouth is facing up right now. And then there's those two big lobes that are kind of splayed out. Whoa, he's rotating like a spaceship towards us. Mouth first. And then, on the very end there is his two anal pores, making it his butt. These guys, they look all rainbowy because they have these really, really massive comb rows, which is kind of the 8 glitter lines you're seeing going down their bodies. And these guys have extra wide ones, so they're extremely brilliant. That's actually the genus they're in is called Lampatius, and in Greek that's brilliant combs. So they're kind of the sparkliest of the sparkles, which I find just makes them really wonderful to look at. This is our big guy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a little bit of production here on the back end, just to show everybody just how huge and beautiful those comb rows are. Here, hold on. You saw a
Yeah.
little bit of the jelly cam, everybody there in the background, but there's a photo that our staff photographer Tyson took a few years ago when we were first working on this deep sea species. Oh, that's so cool. Here, I got to go back to the live action there. But that's the comb jelly that we've been showing off there as the cover to this live stream. But then also when we announced our Into the Deep special exhibition there, we had this this comb jelly image. Can you... it's just so cool to be able to see them here live with you, MacKenzie. Can you tell us a little bit about what was the breakthrough that really allowed us to have, comb jellies in abundance? Because you were a part of this this cracking of the code of how to take care of comb jellies, which are so dissimilar from like regular, quote unquote, regular jellies that folks might experience.
Right. Oh, Patrick, yeah, thanks for asking. It's where kind of my main passion lies is when we did discover how to reproduce multiple generations of comb jellies in our aquariums here at the Monterey Aquarium, because it's just unlocked a lot of opportunity to display these mesmerizing and just beautiful creatures. But yeah, as I alluded to slightly before, the quality of food is so very important in jellies being able to, make eggs and sperm and create baby jellies. So for us, it was so wonderful. We had the opportunity to collaborate with Dr. William Brown from the University of Miami University of Florida. And he let us know that live juvenile fish actually was kind of like this magical food item for comb jellies. And it allowed them to just have thousands of fertilized embryos when we were getting a handful before. So that was just a big game changer. And we've developed different, more delicate tanks to rear the larvae in and such, but we would have never, had that opportunity without collaborating with Phil. These guys, no one knows how deep sea comb jellies reproduce. Like we've been trying, it's going to be different, but I will say they do enjoy the fish too. And I think that's, that's helped with the longevity of these guys, most definitely.
That's fascinating. So just for the folks at home there, historically, MacKenzie, you were feeding these comb jellies, brine shrimp and other things that we talked about earlier on in the stream. Mysids, and so those were kind of considered to be, or like since that discovery, sort of like a popcorn, like a little, or like a kale chip or something, like perfectly fine and tasty. But it turns out that comb jellies really love the like mega steak dinner with all of the sides in that little fish larva to really be like, all right, time, wait, I can have some kids now. Like I got my big meal in them. Is that pretty accurate as far as the analogy
you nailed
there?
It. Yeah.
Okay.
Kale chips versus a big steak dinner, most definitely. Yeah.
All right.
It's got to be calories, We've also kind of experienced that. And this was up for pretty hot debate before we figured it out here. And maybe other institutions have seen it similarly since. People have been growing more comb jellies now. But there was kind of a thought that animals that were reared in captivity couldn't bioluminesce on their own. And it was, thought that, they need something from the ocean that that's not available to them in captivity. But feeding a bunch of fish to the first comb jelly that was cultured here in Mimeophysis. It's a warm water lowbait tuna, but it bioluminesced like crazy. It was awesome. So it is this, it's got the calorie component or some type of, enzyme that allows them to kind of do more than just survive. But honestly, a really big part of this deep sea show is we're developing life support systems that mimic the oxygen minimum zone, and that's where these animals are found. So we're usually in aquariums, you want to make sure they've got 100% oxygen available. All the fishes, they need all the oxygen. Jellies, shallow jellies, like we were talking about earlier, they need it. But things that live in the deep sea, especially the midwater twilight zone, kind of what we're looking at now, they need very little oxygen and lower pH. So we've got some serious mad science stuff going on around here.
Oh boy, look at that.
Yeah, it's a big old nitrogen cylinder, and we've got membranes that strip oxygen out and put nitrogen in, and vacuum pumps. It's crazy around here. So. But it's really, it's basically led to tons of longevity for these guys. Like before the advent of this and larval fish as a food item, it was like a week maybe. And now it's, months and months and months and months. No one knows how long they live in, nature because they're inaccessible to many. But yeah, we're really learning a lot. It's wonderful.
That's amazing. And I'm really noticing, cool. Emily, there's a few questions here from all around about, the specifics of taking care of a deep sea comb jelly, right, Emily?
Exactly. So folks were really curious about what were some of the things that we needed to do in order to keep these jellies alive. Another question, does the light affect them at all? It's bright inside of the jelly lab there. These are animals who are normally used to being in the deep sea. Do we have to adjust the light for our comb jellies at all?
Right. Great questions. We are learning every day more and more, but honestly, you see, I have an extremely powerful dive light on them right now, and it doesn't seem to be to their detriment, I think food, the quality of food, and, this low oxygen, low pH water seems to be very crucial. We still are looking forward to the day we figure out how to help them reproduce, what kind of trigger they need, because, our other comb jellies, it's been a light dark cycle and really great food. But these guys, that hasn't worked because they're in the dark all day, right? And so when they're in the light all day here, it doesn't seem to affect them really, or at least we haven't found a bunch of eggs, right? So yeah, I know I get a lot of questions like, oh, what about the pressure? But it feels like they're primarily composed of water. There's no gases in there, and it doesn't seem like the lack of pressure or a bunch of ambient light really is too much of a problem for these specific. There are other deep sea jellies that they just like really can't handle the light at all. We're still working a little bit with that kind of stuff, but yeah, I'm so happy that they can, because as you kind of know, they look so great in the light, and it helps you understand what an amazing animal this is.
Now, MacKenzie, we've got an interesting ghostly appearance on the left side of the screen there. I believe you may not have told us the entire contents of the Kreisel there. Can you tell us about our little ghostly apparition there that just went by? Yeah.
Right.
Photobombing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, can you talk about me here?
Hey, I'm here too, guys.
Yeah.
This is another lowbait ctenophore. It's a deep sea ctenophore. Its scientific name is Thalassocalisi. And
such a good name.
Oh, I know, right? Another strategy to live in a vulnerable environment such as the pelagic, the middle of the ocean where you can't hide, is to be see-through. So this guy is see-through, with exception of if there's something large in his belly, then you can see him. But yeah,
that was I had two questions for you, MacKenzie. Maybe do you think we can flip you around real quick and see if we can do a selfie with them, just to give folks a little bit of a sense of scale?
Yeah, let's do it
with them. Let's see.
Hi, everybody.
Because we got the selfie stick. There's MacKenzie who's been talking to you. Okay. So now everybody's getting a little bit more of a sense of scale here.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah.
Kind of closed up because they'll feel vibrations. But yeah, like as big as my palm, if that's helpful.
That's awesome. And then the other question, just real quick before we get to more audience questions, you were mentioning there, very see-through Sorry, I was about to call you.
No, you got it.
I was about to say Khaleesi, and I was just like, wait, Mother of Dragons? Hold on.
We call her the Khaleesi.
Okay, all right, perfect. So then the other question.
Khaleesi,
Oh, Emily, nicely done, nicely done. I'm gonna bring you back on screen for that. Nice. That was awesome, Emily. But MacKenzie, so just very quick before we get to the audience questions, I know there's a lot out there, but you were mentioning perfectly see-through, very good camouflage, but also dark crimson red also very good camouflage in the deep sea. Can you just describe to us a little bit about those two different strategies there? Because obviously one is bright red and it's brilliant, it's awesome, but like in the deep sea, not the same thing, right?
Totally. Yeah, I know. Not camouflaging well right now, is it?
No.
Like a big ruby floating around. Yeah. So what you're alluding to, Patrick, deep sea is very dark, right? But also the wavelengths do make it down. 1,000 meters is kind of a cutoff. There's no wavelength of visible light that you can find down there. But where these guys are commonly found, 600 meters, things like that. This blue, green, and yellow can penetrate, but yeah, violet or red, it gets filtered out in the more shallower depths of the ocean. So red is black in the deep sea, and the inky darkness. There's no red wavelength that could, allow a fish to see the color red, or any type of predator. It could be another jelly, So yeah, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
To me. And we see a lot of red, and especially, I don't know if you can tell, but the whole bloody belly cone jelly is red, but its stomach is like a very, very dark red. And that's because it can eat bioluminescent copepods, like we were talking about, and thus creating a light in its belly to be like, hey, I'm here if anybody needs to eat me and a copepod that's in my belly. So it's it's like it's double strategy of camouflage for these guys. Thalasso, I don't know, she's on her own. She's a little light, generally a little bit shallower, but yeah, being translucent is in itself very good camouflage. So
that's awesome. Yeah, you got the two different methods there in the jellies. Perfectly see-through or as red as you can be there.
Especially if you're deeper.
Yeah, as one of our Twitch followers and amazing mods said, it's Khaleesi versus Khaleesi no sea.
Oh, double.
Brilliant.
That's nice. That was awesome.
Do you guys want to see another deep sea jelly?
I mean, I don't know what. Okay, yeah, sure. I guess
I'm
so.
sorry.
I mean,
I'm voting for
okay,
yes,
yeah, no, I
but
didn't.
we can ask everybody else.
I guess if you've got one lying around, that could be.
Yeah, we have some. I love this jelly. I don't know the common name, but it's Moderia rotunda is its scientific name, and it has a red belly, but it's completely see-through.
Oh, whoa.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, now we should mention here that we've transitioned from a comb jelly to a Hydromedusa over here for the folks that are watching at home. Can you describe to us what makes a Hydromedusa here? What are some tells?
Right. Well, it's part of the Cnidarian phylum, right? So it has stinging cells, just like the comb jelly does not.
Sorry to interrupt. It looks like a brain suspended in it looks like Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Right? Is that totally good. Right? Doesn't it? Just like or the exposed brains from Mars Attacks.
Oh my God. Right? It is very brain-like. Yeah, maybe that should be its common name. Brain jelly.
Brain jelly. Brain in a jar jelly. brain in a jelly jar.
Just floating around. It's got its little buddy down here too.
Wow. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. I'm going to bust out my different light. I think that'll be helpful in this because they're a little smaller. Yeah, so it's more what you kind of would think of as a true jelly, like you were saying earlier, Patrick. It has nematocysts, it stings, it eats other hydrozoan jellyfish, so it's like a little brain predator, whereas the ctenophore has something called a coloblast cell, which is a sticky little goo spring that it can kind of goo its prey to death. But these guys will, use those harpoons I was talking about earlier.
That's awesome. We've got friends at the Seattle Aquarium mentioning that maybe it's a Metroid jelly. We'll keep those references going.
I know. I feel the deep sea is much like outer space, right?
Right.
It's just visually at least.
That's so cool. Emily, before we get to more questions, This is amazing. By the way, thank you so much, MacKenzie. If you are just tuning in right now, we're live from the Monterey Bay Aquarium behind the scenes with our very good friend and Aquarist extraordinaire, MacKenzie. She's showing us some of the cool behind the scenes of the Deep exhibit that is coming up here in a little bit. And you can support that work that we're doing to raise these jellies with all the Giving Tuesday links that we have here on these live streams. So if you're tuning in on Facebook, there's a big donate button right there. If you're more of an Instagram person, we've got an Instagram story over there. You can donate on our story. On Twitter, there's a link, and on Twitch here we've got the Tiltify and shop and everything that you're seeing from Nightbot and from the mods there in the chat there as well. All right, enough of that. Emily, what questions do the folks have out there?
Well, this one is a really fun one for you, MacKenzie. Folks are curious. We've been talking about how much work goes into figuring out exactly what these jellies need. Are there any jellies out there, kind of your dream jelly that you haven't quite figured out how to culture or raise or keep at the aquarium that you really, really want to?
Oh, so many. Yeah, great question. Yeah, I mean, what's thrilling to me about studying jellies in general, but deep sea jellies, as of recent, we put a lot of energy and time, me, myself, a lot. Nobody knows anything about them, there's such little access. And so, yeah, oh my gosh. Some of the siphonophores are a really big challenge because of their strange bodies. But it would just be amazing to have them. Like, I don't know, there's some deep sea siphonophores. Some grow far too large for an aquarium. I'm talking like 60 meters long, one animal. It's a colonial hydrozoan. So it's a bunch of little individual animals basically working together. Ooh, guess what? We did culture one though. I'd love to show it to you.
Yeah, what? Yeah. You did what? When?
Not the deep sea ones. Well, I guess, you know what? What am I talking about? This is a deep sea one, but this is Nanomia bajuga.
Yes.
And we're pretty excited about this right now because it went so well. But yeah. Oh, it's
look at it.
Oh, we have a special guest.
And tiny.
Tommy. Everybody, this is Tommy.
Hey, Tommy.
Hey, he's coming in to help us with the lighting. I've got these short arms. It's hard. But yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah, that looks great, Tommy. Thanks. Yeah, so these are really, really interesting jellies. And as you can see, they don't have the normal body plan of a cone jelly like we were talking about or a hydrozoan, but I would say these count as deep sea jellies. They are vertical migrators. How about we check this one out in the front here, Tommy? Yeah, they said, awesome. Yeah, so like I was saying, they're colonial, and at the very top, there's that shiny bit. That's its float called a nematophore that helps it orient vertically. And then there's these.
We're a bit off angle there, MacKenzie.
Getting too excited.
There we go. Nice.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
So then you see like the honeycomb bit at the top. That's the nectophores, which are the swimming organisms. And something I just learned, which I feel like is so cool, is the top ones. They're smaller and newer. They can butt off and grow more. Those guys are actually like they steer the ship. And the larger, older ones, they more propulse. They say, okay, we're going forwards or backwards. So that's pretty amazing.
There's like a democracy of like, respect your elders. We're going this way.
That's right.
That's amazing.
I know. It's amazing, right?
Wow.
So yeah, we collected these with a little ROV, a remotely operated vehicle, brought them back to the aquarium. Well, these are the children. And yeah, grew them up in our cool tube within a tube system that we developed here at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. So we talked about the little swimming guys at the top, but then at the bottom, that's where the stomachs are, and attached to the stomachs are those awesome tentacles that you're seeing, and then also a digestive tract called the palpin. So they've got all sorts of stuff going on.
Yeah, if you folks out there ever are interested in learning a whole bunch of new words all at the same time, look up siphonophore body plans, because you're going to start learning about physonex and nectosomes and palpons and like all that great stuff. MacKenzie, real quick, at the top there's sort of a shinier part there. That's a little float, right? Helps orient it vertically.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, they don't swim traditionally, and they seem to really like to have their nectosome, all the swimmy bits at the top, oriented vertically.
Yeah,
and that might help, with their vertical migration they do every single night. So.
Yeah, for the folks out there who might be familiar with the world's most famous siphonophore is the Portuguese man-o-war. And it also has that float there on the surface, except that float keeps it up on the surface. But many other siphonophores have those little gas bulbs there that help orient it. That's amazing. I wasn't expecting to see siphonophores, deep sea comb jellies, deep sea hydrozoans, like all of it at the same time. This is amazing. Emily,
it's my honor to show you guys what we've been doing here.
It's so cool.
It's so cool. So cool.
Yeah. Emily, what do the folks want to know? I can't imagine if they can recover emotionally from all that and formulate a question.
Well, we're about 45 minutes into the stream, and I know that we wanted to try and take a walk out to the front side of our exhibits as well, MacKenzie. I think that this is probably a great question to transition us to it, since we've been talking about some really specific types of jelly. So we've been talking about, our siphonophores. Oh, that was so cool.
Emily, it got really
light a little bit.
I got a little camera shy there.
Yeah, now you see awesome swimming maneuvers.
Look at that.
Look at it go.
Tommy, you're doing a great job with the lighting. There he goes. He's going back down.
So that was really cool just to see it tuck itself, bring in its fishing net all at the same time. Like that.
Yeah, they're really fast, right? They reel it right in. It's pretty exciting.
Oh, that was so cool.
That was rad.
In the front.
Sorry to interrupt, Emily.
No. That was worth it. That was worth the interruption right there.
Cool.
No, we've been talking about, our different jellies that we have behind the scenes. Folks are curious about how many different kinds of jellies there are. Are they all related to each other? What's kind of we use this term jelly pretty loosely, talk about gelatinous animals, but what's kind of the family tree of life going on here for these jellies?
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, you said it. I've showed you a bunch of different types, right? But I might phone a friend. How many different jellies do we grow here, Tommy?
It's in the neighborhood of 2 dozen, probably.
Can you guys hear that?
About 2 dozen?
About 2 dozen right now. But yeah, I mean,
in the past, when we've also had the Jellies Experience exhibit downstairs, it was close to 50.
Gotcha.
Or over 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, within Nidarians, we've got our moon jellies, our sea nettles, which right now, we have the purple stripes and the brown sea nettles. We've got, our new exciting siphonophore development. I think we've grown like 5 species of cone jellies. Maybe.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And hydrozoans, various hydrozoans too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might be forgetting somebody, but we like to delve in many different gelatinous body forms. And what is a jelly? There's many different shapes and, ways to think about it.
Yeah. And just for the folks at home, you might recognize Tommy from the John Prine tribute earlier on in the year, as well as numerous other amazing live streams there. So thank you, Tommy. MacKenzie, thank you so much for showing us all of that cool stuff there. But Emily, were we transitioning over to the exhibit hall? Sorry, I got thrown off by all the siphonophore stuff.
I know. I did too. Should we take a little stroll?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll walk us out in front of the exhibits here.
Sounds good. While we're walking, we're going to lose MacKenzie here as we hit the elevator. But Emily and I are still here to plug the special Giving Tuesday broadcast. Thank you so much. There she goes. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Again, special Giving Tuesday broadcast here. Fundraising for the aquarium. We've got a new deep sea exhibit coming out here, and we're doing a lot of work right now. And so your support is really important there to help us out. Emily, do you feel like plugging the links? I've done it a couple times here. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So over on Facebook, we've got that donate button right on this live stream video that you can click and donate to the aquarium. If you prefer Instagram, we also have an Instagram story up right now with that donate button on there where you can help support us. Over on Twitch, we've got our Tiltify link in the chat right there. Our awesome mod, Sarah, just dropping it in half a second before I was about to press the button there. She's on top of it right now. You can also support us across, the board at the aquarium just by going to MontereyBayAquarium.org and donating directly on our website or by buying things in our online store. Proceeds from that go to help support the aquarium right now too. So, we appreciate all of the love and support that we've seen coming in through these streams right now. So just huge shout out to everyone who has helped donate here on Giving Tuesday, but also throughout the last 8 months during our closure.
That's right. Yeah. And thank you so much for that, Emily. We've now arrived here. Let me see if I can remove the pin. Hey, we're there with MacKenzie in front of our sea nettle exhibit. You folks might recognize the sea nettles behind me here as my Zoom backdrop. You can see those there. But there's that world famous jelly cam there, MacKenzie. So many folks tuning into that. We've had millions of views now on the jelly cam. MacKenzie, can you tell us a little bit about how do we maintain this exhibit? We have these jellies in here all the time, 365, 24/7. How does this work? How does the jelly cam magic happen?
Oh, that's great. Yeah. It's, well, you guys, I'm glad you're familiar with this massive jelly chrysal special jellyfish tank that we have here. It's like, I think it's like 15 foot tall and 22 foot wide. It's a little bit bigger than it seems on the window side. We need a lot of space for these big jellies to grow up in here. We maintain a brown sea nettle culture in the lab we were just in. And actually, it's kind of cool. One of our big things we've done during this quarantine shutdown, we grew all of these during all this time.
Really?
Yeah, this was one of our
cool.
quarantine activities here. Yeah, Tommy and myself and the rest of the jelly team worked really hard.
Everybody else is just, getting their sourdough starters.
Yeah.
Here you are just, creating life inside of the aquarium there with our jellies.
So these are our quarantine children here. That's amazing.
Yeah, they're the quarantine cohort. Yeah, all these little babies were born when the aquarium was shut. Yeah, in the very beginning in March, and we said, you know what? Let's fill them all up with homegrowns because occasionally we have the luxury of the Monterey Bay and the healthy ecosystem, and we can go pick wild grown jellies, but these are all homegrown. So in the lab we have polyp bins, so a very kind of the base level, almost fertilized eggs and sperm from male and female sea nettles can mix up. We do them in big tubbies and stuff here in the lab, but when basically, that fertilized egg will plant and become, it looks like a small anemone or a little fuzzy flower that can sting. When, we make the conditions right for them, they'll start strobulating or stretching out and stacking like stacks of pancakes almost, little tiny jellies. And then all of a sudden, they'll all bust free. And you kind of saw it when we were in the lab. There's small tanks, there's big tanks, there's tall tanks. They all get utilized as they grow up and require more room to stretch out their really long tentacles and oral arms. So we put 100 in here.
Wow.
And so they're almost a year old now. So
that's so not only is it pretty incredible to think that it's been nearly a year.
I know.
There, because that's that's messing with me a little bit to just think about that timing. But I did also just want to point out very quickly that you mentioned the word of the day, which I'm just describing as the word of the day, which is strobilation. I have it up there on screen. Strobilation there is when the polyp decides to basically produce a stack of pancakes of itself, and then each pancake pops off and becomes a jelly. Sorry, that's just producer Pat there throwing in visual information there. So strobilation, in case you folks didn't catch that. Stick with MacKenzie, everybody, and you're gonna win Scrabble going forward
Right?
with all the jelly terms. So
Yeah,
awesome.
thanks, Pat. Yeah, totally. Sometimes I throw the jargon in without realizing. So
Oh no, see,
appreciate.
they're such different animals, right? Like they have such a completely different life history. You know, if we were to try to, you know, talk to one of these animals about a placenta or something, they'd be a what? An umbilical
what?
cord? And then what is going on? Okay, that's weird, you know, like just grow a bunch of heads on top of your heads. Each one pops off, becomes an adult. Just make it easy, you know? So
Right. Yeah. Fuse those parts of your heads together to form a bell and just swim away.
right, like yeah, no fuss, no muss. Like anyway, so Emily,
Love it.
with that, questions from the audience.
Questions from the chat here. Well, we do have some people who are big fans of some other animals that we have at the aquarium, like our mola mola and our sea turtles, who are notorious predators of jellies. They're curious, how do they eat jellies without being stung by them, and how are they able to get so much nutrition out of these jellies, which are, 95 to 98% water?
Yeah, that is a great question. Interesting life strategy there to eat just water animals, right? But I don't know. From what I have seen with my own eyes, cruising around the bay, collecting jellies, a lot of times the more nutritious tissue is missing. So that would be like the stomach pouches and the gonads, where the sperms and eggs live. And I would imagine that would help with the calories. And there are nematocysts on the oral arms, but maybe if they go from the bell version, they don't interact with any. I have seen little mola molas maybe learning the ways a little in the hard way, and they'll have a tentacle stuck, but they, they're kind of laser focused, and they'll go ahead and pick out the juicy parts, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and again, if folks are looking for some homework, look up leatherback sea turtle throat, and you'll see some pretty incredible, gnarly adaptations for eating jellies. And also, I just found this out the other day that apparently our sunfish friends also have a little bit of a barbed tongue there to help with the chopping up of the jelly. You'll often see them kind of spitting them in and out there to slice up to get the proper spread of jelly there on their toast. So yeah, great question.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I've seen them, the sunfish, I feed it here too, and yeah, it does that with every food item. So that's so interesting. Cool.
little quick chop there, and
Yeah,
ready
a little
to swallow.
frappe.
Yeah. Well, cool. Emily, I was gonna say, looking at the time here, we've got just a few
hour has
minutes.
gone by so quickly.
It is incredible. But just very quick, we're gonna plug it one last time. But check out all around these live streams here. There's various ways to donate to the aquarium. It is Giving Tuesday right now. We really appreciate your support. It helps maintain our facilities, take care of our animals, and further our mission of ocean conservation. MacKenzie, right now, towards the end of the stream, sorry to throw you under the bus like this, but we're gonna go to some rapid fire questions. I believe some rapid fire, snappy information things. So I hope that you're ready. I hope that your feet are well planted, because I know that the folks out there have a lot of questions. So we're gonna throw it to Emily there for some rapid fire. Get ready.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right. How closely related are jellies, sea anemones, and corals?
Oh, they're all under the same, Cnidarian kingdom. So they are closely related. Not the ctenophores we were talking about. They're completely separate. But the rest of those guys unite with their stinging cells.
Very cool.
Right.
How big do those jellies get that are behind you right now?
Ooh, good question. These guys aren't at their max size. I'd say they have, another 6 inches to go in their bell diameter. They, in the wild, sometimes grow a little quicker than here, but they live longer here. So it's more of a slow train here.
Very cool. And then ooh, that's the wrong word there. Are there any jellies that humans can eat?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I've never eaten any. But yeah, I know it. In Japan, I've seen that they throw them in salads. I'm not sure the species though. Do you guys know?
I'll tag in. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's a type of cannonball jelly.
Yeah, cannonball and blubber
okay.
jellies. Yeah, those are the two
okay.
that they eat.
They're those are hardier. I've worked with them before. I
Mm.
just never thought about eating them. That's interesting. Thanks.
Yeah. Can jellies regrow parts of their body?
Short answer, yes. What I'm most familiar with is ctenophores, and they have amazing regeneration properties. These were experiments done in the 20s, but literally you can chop them into quarters and they'll grow back. It's insane. I know, researchers are working on kind of trying to mimic that with degenerative brain diseases to see if they can help brains regrow. It's amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop in here because there's a joke related to that. MacKenzie, I don't know if you've ever heard this one before, but how do you know that Nemeopsis comb jellies are fans of Jurassic Park?
Ooh, how?
Because if there's even just a little bit of their body left attached to those two anal pores, they can regrow the entirety of their body. So their life philosophy is hold on to your butts. It's the longest walk for the worst punchline, but I had to throw it out there. So
hang on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts, everybody, and you'll be fine. That's the Nemeopsis comb jelly way. Sorry.
Hey, that's a good motto.
Back to the rapid fire. I'm out.
Well, we'll do one last rapid fire question. MacKenzie, which jelly is your favorite jelly?
Oh, I've so alluded to it. Yeah, I'm obsessed with comb jellies, and I'm ultra obsessed with Lamphateus cruentiventer, the bloody belly comb jelly. I had the pleasure of showing you guys already.
It's hard not to love that one there.
I know, right? Oh my gosh, outrageous.
We'll wrap up our time with you this afternoon, MacKenzie, with a question that came in earlier, but it's a question that we love to ask everybody on these live streams. What is your favorite part of being an aquarist at the aquarium and working with these jellies? And do you have any advice for someone who might want to be a jelly aquarist or a jelly scientist just like you?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, favorite part is there's so much learning to, basically do. We do a lot of research and development in growing these jellies because there's no handbook, and so for me, that's deeply satisfying to be able to manipulate variables and have like an instantly gratified situation where you're like, oh my gosh, we did this. It looks so good. And we all did it together. And it's helpful. And collaborating with researchers is really kind of thrilling because, you're not only creating beautiful displays that kind of give people the opportunity to feel immersed in the ocean, but also perhaps helping different sectors of science. That's really a big driving factor for me. I love being an aquarist because it's you wear like 15 hats, there's like plumbing skills, general carpentry, being meticulous on cleaning windows, and there's a lot of art involved. At least that's the way I look at it. And I would say anybody that's looking to kind of follow my path, volunteering at an aquarium is a great way to start. Once we're all back and open, we'll have a lot of opportunity here, and you can really see if it's for you or not, because I don't think you know until you try.
Ah, that's just great.
Yeah.
Thank you for all that, MacKenzie.
Yeah, no problem.
Ah, so cool.
It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't believe it's 1 p.m. already. So that was an hour
Crazy.
Talking about amazing things, and we got to see some of the amazing work that you're doing behind the scenes there with those deep sea comb jellies, those bloody belly comb jellies, deep sea siphonophores. I mean, just the jelly world is really incredible and really something that the aquarium is working hard to bring to everybody out there. So shout out to your team, everybody out there working on it. And then thanks to everybody who's been watching right now on this live stream, who's been donating to the aquarium. Again, it's Giving Tuesday today. Thank you for watching this special broadcast. If you are financially able to do so, we really appreciate your help and support. The aquarium has been closed since March. And so all of your funds are going directly to help take care of the animals, continue our mission of ocean conservation, and bring you more aquarium better than ever once we're able to reopen. So again, if you are over there on YouTube, there are some links in the chat for the Tiltify where you can help support us there. Same on Twitch. I know that the mods are over there putting those links in. Also on our Facebook page, there's a big button right there. You can donate on Periscope and Twitter. There's a link to our donate page. And then if you're not into any of those things, over on our Instagram, we have an Instagram story slide where you can donate directly to the aquarium as well. All right. Well, with that, Emily, anything left here for MacKenzie?
Can we just get a huge thank you in all of our chats for MacKenzie
Yes.
for spending an hour with us today, showing us behind the scenes and all of these amazing jellies and the just truly outstanding work that you're doing right now behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, although there's no guests to appreciate the front of the scenes right now. We appreciate
you're my
it.
guest,
And
you know?
yes, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, thanks everybody.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
It's been so wonderful. Yeah.
It feels good to be able to show what we've been doing. It's a big, it's something that's missing right now from our jobs, being able to show off. So,
Yep.
and just involve other people. So thank you.
That's right. And now all of you folks out there know that the jellies on the Jelly Cam have been there through quarantine from the start. They're our quarantine cohort there. So thank you so much to everybody who does tune in to watch the Jelly Cam, who supports the aquarium, shares our content out there. And thank you to all of your support. We hope to see you again very soon at the aquarium. Thank you, MacKenzie. This was awesome. Thank you so much, Emily, for moderating and looking up all of those questions. And thanks, everybody, for being nice about my production in the chat. And with that, thank you for supporting the aquarium for this hashtag Giving Tuesday today. Hope you had wonderful holidays, and we hope to see you again very soon here online in person at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Q and Slate. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.